Gordon Levitt or whoever, like just saying a bunch of people that I've never dated, and they only got 2 people right, which are, you know, one of them I was publicly with for almost 4 years, and the other one I just told you earlier. But you know, it was like, why would you list a bunch of people, like 7 or 8 people, for me as a black woman, and put a bunch of people on my slate that I've never even dealt with?
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. And you could have just called me. You could have just asked me. Like, we talked for like an hour and a half. Had a great conversation. We're like sister girl vibing and everything. Why would you just post that and not ask me or, you know, anything? So it really upset me because when I asked them to print something like a retraction or something, I got kind of like nothing. And then when I went on like Gayle King and different places, you know, they were quoting the interview. And it was like, for me, the interview was not about for me to sit there and say, okay, just so you know, this isn't true. It was for me to promote the book. And I don't want to take up like 5-10 minutes when most of these interviews are 15 to 20 minutes long, talking about this, that. So it's like, I really didn't even get a chance to address it. I kind of just had to swallow it, you know, because when someone says something like, so you dated a plethora of, you know, athletes, and I'm like, no, I dated one.
It's really like unfair because there's no great equalizer. You know, once it's out there, it's just out there. I always tell Jason that the easiest way to dismiss a woman is to call her a slut.
Yeah.
You know, or a hoe, just whatever, and just like, oh, she dated this person, she dated this person. As long as it's true for the moment, there's no fact checking.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter because how are you going to prove a negative?
But that goes back to, you know, and having known you and known Meagan personally for a while, you know, the whole Amber Rose show. I really feel like it's a platform that promotes creating this kind of environment for women. With social media right now, if you can take a 1-minute clip of you talking about your baby daddy coming on your face as a joke and make a bunch of women, millions of women, feel like it's funny, how is it then that how can they connect with the obligation of men and other people to respect them as women? To me it's I don't get it, but I definitely don't get where somebody like you and I always feel like people like you or Melissa who won't publicly fight for yourselves too become a victim.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll write back or say, you know, what I want to say. But it's like also sometimes when you write back, you give it more life.
Yeah, exactly. Because you responded.
And then also, I don't want to be bitter because at the end of the day, those people are writing and saying what they want, but they're really not thinking about you like that. Like like you're not the center of the universe. They're going home, eating their mac and cheese and hanging out with you know, their homegirl, whatever, and went on about their life and have no idea the destruction that they left in their wake. Yeah. So it's like, I don't even want to give them that much energy or be bitter with them.
We just did an interview with Floyd Mayweather, and he was talking about how he said to me, never ever delete, I don't know whether we talked about delete.
Yeah.
No, he said never ever delete a comment or anything that anybody says because remember, these people, they basically created the energy to come into your world. You're not looking for them. So when they stop talking about you, worry about that, but good, bad, who cares? Let them say what they want to say. I mean, I guess it's easier for some than others. I mean, of course.
It is. And for I feel like for women, it's just it's a little bit more difficult. You know, I mean, Jason, we know you know the difficulties that you went with. You experienced first season. People came for your neck, and I don't necessarily disagree with what you did, but I'm just gonna skate over that. Anywho, but when it comes to women, there's just such a personal attack on who we are as a human being, where the attempt to devalue us as a human being, as a contributing member of society. We think about like, yo, I fucking volunteer. Like I go to church, I do this, I do that, and you're just basically, in a nutshell, dismissing me and my whole existence. We're emotional. It sucks. Like it sucks.
I think you'd be surprised how many people. You know, this is one version of just saying like, yeah, emotionally can hurt or be frustrating or whatever it is. But there's people who really, really struggle with this, and it is the catalyst to, you know, the drugs that they take or how much alcohol they drink,
or maybe even suicide attempts,
or suicide being successful.
Oh, I'll say after that little taste of Love and Hip Hop last season, I literally I'm not used to a lot of attention, thousands and thousands of. Kill yourself. I hope you die. I hope you get beat up on world stuff. For me, I ain't gonna lie. I woke up in the middle of the night, full of anxiety, but I had to literally live through it and live in it so I can get numb to it and get prepared. Like now, when people say stuff, I'm like, whatever. I turn my notifications off. Keep moving. Okay, so let me circle back. So you are married to Devon Franklin.
Yes.
First of all, I think he has a lot of courage. He just left Sony. right?
Yeah, yeah.
And created his own company.
Yeah, I mean, his deal is through Sony, so he can, go to Sony first, and basically they have a first look at the movies that he wants to make, and if they don't want to make it, then he can make it
But
elsewhere.
now he's running his own company.
Yeah, his own company, Franklin Entertainment.
And you and him just dropped a book called The Wait.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of the book is waiting till you get married to have sex.
I have to, but wait, shut up.
Wait, no, because I literally have to.
That's not the whole premise.
No, but wait, I have to ask, did this have
That was
something
what I
to
gravitated
do,
to.
does this have something to do with Think Like a Man?
No,
Anything?
actually, I was already doing it before.
Okay.
So
Man,
when I
is
actually
that
got
wrong?
into the character, I was like, that's crazy. I'm literally doing this right now.
So
I
the
totally know
first
who
thing
this
like a
girl
man,
is.
the first thing like a man was
First thing,
already.
yeah.
That was a while ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
so explain for people who haven't had the privilege of reading the entire book
Right.
what The Wait is about.
So The Wait, yes, it does talk about, being celibate and, being celibate in relationships or until you're married or however long you choose. But the book is more so about how if you can get control and have self-control over one area of your life, and for it to be specific and for it to be intentional, for it to be about you growing and you loving yourself more and you getting closer to God and allowing whatever God is going to bring into your life based on the changes that you're making. So it was less just about so much just sex. It was more about taking control of yourself, because sex is the hardest area in, I think most of our lives to get in control of. You can get control of your working out, you can get control of how much you drink or whatever it is, but sex is really hard.
So you all waited to have sex before you got married. And was there ever, because for me, like I keep saying, in our community,
penetration.
first base is penetration. We need to work on that as a people. But was there ever any fear that waiting so long, or how long were you together before you got married? Did you ever fear that maybe that would be a year like that you invested in something that you may not want? Or
No,
was sex a big enough deal? It could have been a deal breaker.
Here's the wonderful thing. When you're not having sex with someone and you're getting to know someone, you get to know them in a completely different way, because you can't rely on the sex to be the base that you build a relationship on. So you actually have to get to know their heart, their soul, their spirit, who they are. You get to see the good, bad, and ugly. You get to see the real situation really early on. Whereas when you're having sex with someone, the sex is really what keeps you, engaged. You need that, and then you get to know the person. But the way that it took me in my last relationships, I got to know Devon that way in maybe like 4 months. The way that it took me to learn somebody that I was with for maybe 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
The type of relationship that we had, just the base that it was built on, how solid it is, that positively surety of like, oh yeah, I could spend the rest of my life with this person because I really know who he is.
I concur. You met my girl.
Yeah.
And thank you. The first time I tried to get them yams, she didn't let me.
Right.
Like, she came to my crib, I tried to get them yams, she wouldn't let me. And long story short, we'll be celebrating a year this month, and she made me wait 3-4 months.
Congratulations.
And it's been a year, and and now what's so crazy about it, we don't have a lot of sex now. It's like once every other week or something like that, once or twice, because we're just so lost in each other. Like, that's just like my best friend. So that's dope. So I concur with you.
It's supposed to be icing on the cake, though. Like, sex is supposed to be, that extra gift, amazing thing. It's not supposed to be the whole relationship, because what happens when you get tired of having sex with that person?
Yeah, because
what happens when you ain't feeling that person at that time?
Yeah.
What happens? And I think that's marriage too. A lot of relationships and marriages don't work because people go into them with that being the base, and then when they get tired of that person, they ain't got nothing else in common. And then you gotta wonder, do you even really like that person?
Well, I'm talking to somebody now. Maybe I'll wait. I'm gonna read the whole book first. Maybe call on them for some counsel, because I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to a point to where I'm reevaluating everything I've ever done, and I'm just like, okay, I see where this went wrong. Okay, this rescue puppy was a problem anyway. So I'm learning, and I'm trying.
Megan, we call Jason the ASPCA. He's always picking up a stray.
I mean,
I thought I used to be.
the Giuseppe department at Barnes has seen me quite a lot. Okay, so when you all finally had sex, was it everything that you expected? Was the sex good?
Look at the smile.
Sex was good.
But what was really special was, and I don't get too much into it because But
we don't need the church coming after Meagan Good.
I'm not worried about that. I'm just thinking about what Devon's comfortable with.
Right.
What was wonderful was feeling like a teenager again, feeling like someone was doing something for the first time and really exploring something in a really pure way. and I had not experienced that since I was 19. And obviously this was different because this was actually my husband. So it was a very fun experience to feel like you're the only two people in the world and you got to discover each other in a brand new way.
Megan, I'd like to feel like a 19-year-old all over again. Hashtag just saying.
I know a brother
just
named
saying.
Bolo.
Listen,
that just
shut
got
up.
out.
Okay, I'm not listening. I'm not leaving it up to you, and I'm not leaving it up to you.
Can I say that after waiting a year, we would have to have sex at Kaiser because I would need a cast, I would need all types. So like the passion, so was there the passion was there, and from there it's just been all good.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I was thinking like, how do I ask Meagan Good about having sex with Devon?
I know,
in a way that doesn't make.
Megan, he struggled with it.
I
It
did.
is the first time he has ever been like,
because
Melissa, how do we approach
because
this interview?
because
Don't
I
wanna offend
I
her.
respect Megan.
Yeah.
I like Megan. I respect Megan.
Yeah.
And you did very well with asking that
Yeah.
question.
I didn't make eye contact. Because I know Devon is at home like, okay, because Devon has a lot of passion. So now there's things in life, like there's life goals. So like I want Beyonce on speed dial, and I want to throw shots of tequila back for Oprah. How was that relationship, and how is it knowing her?
She's lovely, At first, I was a little nervous because for some reason, I was like, she's not gonna like me. And then, as I've gotten to know her, she's really, really lovely. She's incredibly normal. She's funny. She's got jokes, full of wisdom. She's just a lovely person. I don't know how else
And
to
she's
say it.
really embraced Devon.
She loves
you
Devon.
a lot.
She loves Devon. I mean, she loves me too, but she loves Devon.
Yeah, I mean, for Oprah to let you speak to her soul and like put you out there, that you're doing something right. You said something earlier when you were talking about when you were at a crossroads in terms of what you were going to do with your career, and God spoke to you. She has the same story. I don't know if you've ever heard it.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. When it was about The Color Purple.
Yeah.
And
She was literally
That was a
getting
great
ready.
story.
Yeah, and right at the moment where she surrendered, she got the call.
Yeah.
That's great. Maybe I need to sit still or something and ask.
Well, I think
the
you
Lord.
definitely need to sit still,
constantly
Jason.
ask God, I say, Lord, what am I not doing? Because, I'm humbly speaking, I'm a great, I got a movie coming out, faith-based film this summer with Malik Yoba, Bill Duke, my first lead in the motion picture.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm like, you know what? But I'm seeing all these other people that, my friends that I write comedy for, right? And they're just getting jobs. I'm like, Lord, okay, now, is this for me? Like, patience, I think, is one of the biggest things I'm being taught.
Patience is my biggest weakness,
hard.
and I will say that for me, I can feel things happening now. Like it's weird when you're in it and you feel it happening, like you feel something happening.
Yes.
But it happened when I thought
When
it
you
wasn't.
weren't looking.
When I wasn't
When
even
you weren't
looking.
looking and you hadn't even prepared for
That's
it.
what it is.
Not prepared.
It is a surrender.
Yeah.
I think one, you have to be willing to give up the thing that you want to find out the thing that is for you. And I think two.
She dropping gems over there.
Hold on.
And I think two, you have to be present in the moment. Like whatever's going on in your life right now. Yes, you're working towards the things that you want. We all are. If you ask me, I feel like I've lived a whole lifetime, but I feel like I'm just beginning. And so it's like every day I'm like, well, dang, I want to do action. I want to do more of this type of drama. I want to.
I heard you're taking, some mixed martial arts classes.
Yeah. Why just kind of decide?
This might be our next,
Action hero.
Action
That's
hero.
what I do.
Trying to be on stunts,
I'm like, and one of the things that Devon said to me when I came home from doing Minority Report, I had gotten some show offers and it just wasn't the right thing for me. And I'm a quality of life person. Like if someone offers me a lot of money, that's great. But for me, if I got to be excited every day to go to work. I got to be excited about what I'm doing. I got to be passionate about it, especially if it's something I'm going to be doing for a long time.
I agree.
So, for me, it was like, all right, so I turned down some opportunities, which were hard to do because they were great opportunities. They just weren't the right ones for me. And then I was like stressing at first. I was like, oh, what's my next job? And I don't know. And I don't want to lose momentum. And, and the mom was just like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I really want to play complicated, characters, but I also want to do something in the action space where I get to be physical. And, I want to do like some Lucille Ball comedy. And he's like, well, what are you doing to make that happen for yourself? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, how are you preparing for it? And I was like, well, I'm in good shape. He's like, but how are you preparing for it? I was like, that's a good point.
Well,
So I started taking
you've had an extremely a lengthy career. I don't want to say 30 years, but I feel like it might be about 30 years. So you have a lot. Yeah, you have a lot of advice that you can give to fledgling artists, actors, actresses, etc. So we're gonna get into some music, and then we're gonna come back, and I've got like a litany of questions that basically just gonna give everybody that kind of Sorry with the big
Spell
word.
it.
No, we don't need to spell it. We'll be right back.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah, I went to homeschool too.